Wow, Slayer. They're slacking.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today in this video, I want to talk a little bit about what we can expect for Season 3, when we can expect it. There's a lot of signs, there's a lot of arrows, a lot of directions, things we can follow. You know, we're always trying to follow the clues that the developers leave behind, whether that be from this season, past seasons, etc. What I will say is that I do hope, and I'm saying this at the start because I hope that there's someone who's listening who can do this either now or in the future. I hope that Season 3 releases with enough time to course correct and change things before the tournaments start. The problem with Season 2 and Season 1 is that there wasn't enough time to alter the current season before tournament started, and we were left with a very chaotic update for an entire year. I hope that Tekken 8 does not continue to do that over and over and over again, because not only is it frustrating for players, but when you're as many months into it as we are, it kind of just gets boring after a while. Nothing of real, like, impact was done to this game in over like what it feels like a year. If it's probably more like 8 months or so, right? But that's a long time, bro, when other games are doing very exciting things like monthly, weekly, bi-weekly or something like that. Characters is cool, but characters isn't for everyone. We need something that will like really excite the players every couple of months, in my opinion. With that being said, currently right now at the time of making this video, it is January the 2nd. And I personally don't like that the Tekken World Tour is happening. The Tekken World Tour Finals is happening later this month. It's starting on January 29th and it's ending on February the 4th. So it's going to be 4 days, right? I like previous seasons where they did it in December, right? Do the Tekken World Tour Finals in December, and then you announce the next season and whatever else in December as well. I don't know why this time around they pushed the finals back further than normal, and they're leaving the players in more of a like lull. Maybe the new development team needs more time than usual before they're ready to show off things. Maybe Harada leaving impacted the timeline or something, but they definitely delayed things by a month, and players are feeling it. Regardless, though, in a month, we are expecting some type of news about Season 3. Yes, they skipped the Game Awards, but if they skipped the Tekken World Tour Finals, that would be a first, and that also will be a major like confusion, a major drop ball. It just won't happen, right? So we'll hear something about Season 3 at the finals in a month. But then after that, right, when will Season 2 definitively end? We have all of the DLC characters, the Battle Pass. When you look at that, I think at the time of recording, I saw it said 79 days, but regardless, however many days it is, the definitive end for the Battle Pass, the current one, is March 15th. 1 month from now, the finals. A month and a half from then, this Battle Pass ends. That really is like the earliest that Season 3 can start, because the developers like to do characters and updates, like major updates, with a new Battle Pass. So that pretty much tells us that Season 3 won't start in February, but me personally, I think it should. They, like I said at the start, they need more time to push the game in a different direction before the tournaments get going. But then also, you just talk about the excitement, making the players feel alive, right? Now, since the Battle Pass ends on the 15th, that probably means that the earliest Season 5 or Season 3 can start is the 16th of 17th of March. That personally for me would be the best, because that would give them a month and a half to start balancing the game before, like, to course correct the game if anything happened before Evo Japan starts. Because for those of you who don't know, Evo Japan starts May 1st and the 2nd. And what's weird about this year, almost 2 months later, Evo Vegas is in June on the 26th. This is the first time ever that Evo Vegas and Evo Japan has been so close. Usually Evo Vegas is in August. Usually Evo Japan is in February, but for some reason, both of those are 2 months from where they normally are. And I think it has something to do with Tekken 8 Season 3, but also with Street Fighter's DLC. I think both of those things were altered for those reasons. Regardless, normally where a new season for Tekken starts is in April. Season 1 started on August 4th. That's when Eddie released. That was the definitive start of Season 1. Season 2 infamously started on April Fool's Day. That's April 1st. If this trend was to continue, the first weekend of April would be April 5th. If that is the definitive start for season 3, that would mean that season 3 is 4 months away. And then that would also mean they would have a less than a month to course correct. I hope now what I'm looking at here is just the way that they've done it in the past. And I hope that they do not follow that trend, because even people like VDX, he's been doing great work on Twitter trying to tell the developers to not do this again. 2 years of one, not balancing during tournaments, but also starting your season so early to where you can't fix anything when tournaments start. Hopefully everything that the content creators have been saying about start early works, because I mean, if you think about it, right, if they would have did things normal, like if they would have had their Tekken World Tour finals in December, and if they would have started season 3 in January, they could have had 4 months to have season 3 out, balance it if things go wrong. But then about time May shows up, May 1st, right, Evo Japan, not only could they have done a very big and exciting mid-season update, right, where they could have corrected a lot of things. They could have did it after Evo Japan, right, gave people 2 months to prepare for Evo Vegas, but they could have gave themselves so much time to adjust and adapt. And also, you wouldn't have this big lull that the players are feeling. Obviously, we don't know what's happening on the developer side of things, but I would really, really, really love for the developers to take a look at the format that they're having when they're doing these, season updates, right? Tekken 8 is moving in the right direction. The DLC characters is just getting better. The balancing team that replaced the balancing team that made season 2, those guys seem like they're a lot more capable with the game, even though it's kind of like far off the tracks when you look at the competitive side of things. I made a video in the past talking about the long list of ideas that I would want. What I was really surprised about is how everyone was more or less agreeing, right? It's impossible to put out a full list and have everyone agree with everything. But the fact that the player base is so unified in this feeling of like fix the game and fix it like this, they have a very straightforward path from our perspective, at least. Really, you can also talk about how season 3 shouldn't have any major issues, right? As long as they don't have any more like very creative, wacky ideas, if they just played it safe in terms of balance, because safe is what we need. Tekken 8 already did a lot of the very crazy and over the top. If they played it safe and just, fix the game, this season could be very good. And which is why I think a lot of people want it. A lot of people are looking at the calendar, looking at the days, staring at the clock, because it would be great,